The death of Jonathan Corrie less than a month ago here on these steps highlighted the homeless crisis, and tonight I've come out on the streets of Dublin to see how the crisis is being dealt with.
This is my winter song to you. The storm is coming soon. It rolls in from the sea.
Unfortunately, there are at least 5,000 people who are homeless at any one time in Ireland. And there are many reasons that people become homeless, including poverty, relationship breakdown, addiction and mental health issues. Focus Ireland provides help to over 7,000 people a year in many different ways. So today we'll be taking a look at how Focus Ireland and services of its kind are so important. First up was to chat to Adrian Quinn, project leader with the Housing First intake team, as he explains to us about their services and what is needed for the homeless in Ireland.
So we're at 365 days of the year. We cover the streets 16 hours a day minimum, and the team, it's a street outreach team, but with a specific purpose. It's we're out trying to engage with people and get them into emergency beds and then link them in with ongoing support services, ultimately trying to get people moved on into housing. Now we have links with the other part of the service it's called Housing First, and it's a new service with links to multidisciplinary teams, and we're really trying to work with the people who have been homeless and physically rough sleeping for a long time. The team here is getting ready for the another sweep of the streets, basically. So we're getting information from the public, from other services, again about locations where people are bedding down. Again,
people call you, they phone you in.
We get phone calls, emails, and that kind of maps out our night. We also have good knowledge, each day about who we're trying to target, who is vulnerable, who's at risk.
So as the bags are packed with donations from the public and other businesses across the country, it's time to follow the team to their first location. The first stop with the team is Dame Street, where they'll be meeting two young men who are in need of a bed for the night. These young men have called Focus Ireland through the free phone number and are travelling in from a different area of Dublin, so Focus Ireland can help them. As the time passes, there's no sign of the lads, as Sinead and Stephen keep an eye out. So the guys have been here about 15 minutes now, and the two guys that they were supposed to meet to hopefully give a bed to tonight haven't turned up. So this could be just something that happens every night. People just don't want a bed. After half an hour, Adrian and his team get a call to say that the men have found accommodation for the night from a friend and don't need their help. The 8th of December, the night we filmed this package, is one of the busiest shopping days of the year. Lights are glittering from one end of the shopping street to another, and the countdown to Christmas has truly started. As we walk up Grafton Street, the Housing First intake team notice a woman begging down one of the alleyways. The team head down to see her situation, and before we know it, we meet another group of volunteers called the Christian Freedom Ministries, who help the homeless on a regular basis.
We're from a Christian ministry called Freedom Christian Ministries, and it caters for the homeless, drug addicts, alcoholics, depression, people that are suffering with these problems. And we've no waiting lists, so we operate 2 recovery homes at the moment, one for men in Ashbourne and one for women in Robertstown in Kildare. But we come into the city centre maybe twice a week giving out soup and sandwiches, because as you know, there is a big homeless crisis in the city at the moment. The amount of soup and sandwiches we would normally bring out would get us through the whole night, maybe the 2-3 hours that we do it, but it's gone already and we're only out an hour. So on average,
there's more people out tonight.
There seems to be early in the week, and I don't know why that is, but it seems to be that maybe between 50 and 100 people we would see a night.
As the housing intake team come back to us, they tell us that the woman has no accommodation for the night and she has refused to stay in mixed accommodation. So Adrian, the guys were talking to a girl around there, and I know they were phoning you there and just letting you know that there's a problem down there. She doesn't want to go into a bed, or there is no bed available. Which is it?
It's a little bit of both. The bed that is available, she's not willing to go into it.
And why is that?
Reasons. She's nervous about where it is, the location, the type of room that it is.
As we travel through Dublin city centre, the team sees many different people living on the streets. Unfortunately, none of these people were willing to speak to us on camera. But the Housing First intake team helped them with what they needed, with one man finding shelter for the night in one of the new beds that are provided. As we leave Focus Ireland for the evening, I'm shocked at how many people are on the streets and how vulnerable they are, even when help is provided. Our next stop is to visit the Inner City Helping Homeless group in Dublin 1. This charity was set up in 2013 by a few locals, and a year later they now have over 200 volunteers who walk the streets of Dublin every night to feed and help the homeless. Volunteer Gerard O'Neill tells us the importance of the charity. And so the sandwiches are made. I'm looking at there's an amount of clothes here behind us. So is this all being handed in by people?
Yeah, mainly on the days that we're open. Sometimes we keep an open day during the week for donations to come in. People come in, bags of clothes, sleeping bags, whatever they can give, socks, underwear, heavy jackets, blankets.
A lot of workers in Inner City Helping Homeless group volunteer as homelessness has hit them personally.
I got involved because it was something that affected me in my personal life, so I always thought like it was nice to go out and give someone less fortunate than myself something. So somebody in your family was homeless. Yeah.
And do you find it hard then when you go out on the street then and help, like when you see them on the street?
Yeah, well the first few nights that I was out when I started, I went home and I used to lie in bed, I always felt guilty going to bed knowing that they had no bed to go to, but as it goes on I kind of learned how to deal with it.
As I help make the sandwiches and the shoe boxes are all checked and wrapped, it's time for Anthony Flynn, director of Inner City Homeless, to brief all his team before they hit the streets. As the team set up at the GPO, Anthony tells us that they see a few regulars every night that would come for the nightly cup of tea and a sandwich.
We're early. It could be 20 past 11 before we normally arrive, you know. And we were taking the chance getting out that little bit earlier. The street seems quiet enough, yeah, but they'll be here. They'll be here definitely. Once they know we're out, they'll be here. But we hit the record on 168. That was the most anybody has ever reported on the streets. And then the official rough sleeper count came in last week at 168. Now we've had 168 and we reported that probably in June or July of this year. So and the figures are definitely on the increase.
Anthony then informs us that there are some people who wouldn't come down to them at the GPO, so they go to them to bring them tea and sandwiches. One man is sleeping rough in one of the food stalls just off Moore Street.
Moosey, you awake? Oh my God. You're well wrapped up in there tonight, aren't you? Yeah, cold. Supposed to go -0 tonight. Very, very cold tonight, so make sure you're well wrapped up. That's his own, I'd say, yeah. Now, that's for you. Happy Christmas. You're gonna have tea, yeah?
Yeah, please.
Never felt so wrong, 'cause you're not where you belong, inside my arms.
Do you need anything dropped back?
No, I'm okay.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Alright, look, we'll see you tomorrow night, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, good night.
And life will find a way.
Now.
I'll be your harvester of light and send it out.
We also came across two men sleeping in a shop door.
How are you doing? You awake there? Want a cup of tea? Tea? Soup? Sorry, sandwich? Yeah, we get you a sandwich, yeah? What's a sandwich, Mary? Do you want tea or coffee or soup? No. Ham, yeah? Have you been in touch with Homeless Services for a bed? Yeah. Okay. Now, scone as well, yeah? Some jam. Do you want another sandwich? More sandwich? Yeah, another sandwich, Mary.
As time passes, it's not long before Anthony and his team are giving out cups of tea and sandwiches to numerous people living on the streets. I speak to a few of the men and women as they tell us why they are on the streets and what needs to be done to help the homeless. And how long have you been sleeping rough and sleeping on the streets?
About 7 years.
And why? What happened that you were sleeping on the streets?
Family problems.
Family problems. And so, how are you finding? Would you not get a hostel tonight, or is there no hostel, or why wouldn't you go into a hostel tonight?
We don't like hostels.
Why not?
Because we would rather be out and about.
You'd rather be out and about.
Yeah.
So there people.
We're like brothers. We look after each other.
Just look after him. But do you not find some problems sometimes with other people when you're out sleeping?
Well, we stay, yeah. There's no problems with me and him, right? And we have our own little spot, yeah? Our own little cosy spot. When he gets up in the mornings, he calls me. If I wake up in the morning, I call him.
And would you not want to be in a hostel tonight? And they're saying like all these new places have come on and they've given extra beds. You don't want to be in there. You want to be out in the streets.
No, I want to be out in the street. I'd rather be out in the street than in a hostel.
Why is that?
Because you get into a hostel, yeah, you're gonna get people banging up and smoking drugs and all.
You anywhere to go tonight?
No, we're gonna have to sleep here. So we feel safe here, like.
And why do you feel safe here? Is it because it's lit up and has cameras?
And there's cameras and stuff here, do you know?
You wouldn't go in down lanes or anywhere like that. And how long have you been sleeping rough?
About the last 4 months now.
Why, can you tell me what happened?
Our flat went on fire.
Your flat went on fire. Where did you live?
The North Circular Road.
And wasn't insured, or was there no family or friends to go and stay with?
No, I have no family, no, that I could go and stay with. No.
Well, I've spent the night on the streets of Dublin with some very vulnerable people who really need your help. Please, please, please give your support to all the charities who are doing so much good work. All their names are going to come on the screen, so please, please help them. As you can see from this report tonight, it's still needed more than ever.